Lead generation is the name of the game, but now with the technology that we have with artificial intelligence and Chat GPT specifically, there are specific things you can do with your sphere of influence as well as your past clients that are absolutely going to help your business grow.
Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the podcast dedicated to real estate professionals to demystify AI and give you practical strategies that you can apply to your business today. I'm your co-host, Rajeev Sajja.
And the other co-host, Jimmy Burgess, and we are excited for you to be a part of this. If you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you go out and that you subscribe to the podcast. Also, we would really appreciate if you could leave us a review. It helps us spread the message that as a real estate community, we are stronger together. Now let's get to this episode.
Well, Jimmy, this episode I'm going to enjoy because I think one of the key activities agents do is lead generation, whether it's coming from their sphere or paid lead generation. And I think this is such a broad topic that we're going to do multiple episodes on lead generation. So today we're going to focus on sphere, which is where people that like you, know you, and trust you, that's where you get your business from. And how do you maximize AI to get more leads from your sphere is what we're going to dedicate this episode to. So I'm excited to talk about this, Jimmy.
Yeah, I am too, Rajeev. You know, over the years, what I've found is that everybody's looking for the new lead. And in reality, you probably already know and have relationships with enough people to grow your business bigger than you can ever imagine if you would just take the time to reach out to that group in a specific way and to add value to that group in a specific way. And there's never been a better time and an easier way to do that than through Chat GPT and AI. So I'm really excited about this too, because literally this is something where those that are listening to this episode, stick around to the end because this is one of those, we're going to reveal something at the end, but I know in between, there's going to be actionable steps that if you'll do exactly what we talk about today, you will see opportunities to generate referrals and multiple transactions. So, Rajeev, let's get into this because I know y'all done it a couple different ways. We've done it a couple different ways. Why don't you start with just, the communication, email specifically, if you don't mind, with what you guys are doing?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously marketing involves several areas. Social, email, content generation, video, but we're going to focus on email and a couple other topics today. So, we spend a lot of time writing content for emails, Jimmy, but we spend very little time writing compelling subject lines that invite opening the emails, high open rate emails. Why do the effort if they're not opening your email, right? It's wasted effort. And I get a lot of email. I'm sure you get a lot of email, but I look for certain emails. They just pop out because of the subject line. They just pop. Yeah. So we're going to empower you today on some specific strategies you can apply for subject lines. And I love the father of advertising, David Ogilvy's quote that said, when you've identified your headline, in this case, subject lines, you spent 80% of your effort. Now, in reality, most people are spending 80% of their effort on the copy and not on the headline. So subject line that builds engagement. So some of the things that we've done that have worked for us is, did your home equity grow in 2023? Question mark. Okay. Yeah. Again, you're sending it to homeowners that want to know, did it grow? And obviously we're going to get to the copy next. So that's a great one that sort of has helped us, our agents, get high open rates on it. The other one is 2023's real estate boom. How much value did your property gain? Another flavor of the same thing. If you're working a certain market, let's say Bluebell, Pennsylvania is one of the areas where, how hard is the Bluebell real estate market? Question mark. It makes people open it. And again, the idea is you write into Chat GPT, again, 4P and rise it, as we talk about it all the time. But once you start to give it a theme and say, write me 5 compelling subject lines that have high open rates that invite a response, that end with a question mark. And it'll give you 5. And when we generated this, it gave us 5 and said, that's great. Give me 5 more. And you'll find 10 there that you'll come to one that works. Another good one is put the 5. Chat GPT loves emojis, Jimmy. So put the fire emojis and put just in Bluebell's real estate market temperature check. Again, so there's different ways to do this. And so I'll pause there and kind of have you react to certain things. And because there's a flip side of this that I want to talk about as well in email.
Yeah, Rajeev, one of the things that we've done similar to what you're talking about is once we ask it to give us those compelling email subject lines, one of the things we'll do is then we'll ask it to refine it. So we will start broad and then we will get tighter in on what it is. So for instance, it would be write us a compelling email subject line that is directed at our sphere of influence as a real estate agent. I'm just doing this kind of off the top. Obviously, we would refine this, but as a real estate agent that is providing updated information about the local real estate market in whatever the area is. And then once that comes back, we do like you, we ask you to give us 5, because typically out of 5, we can find 1 or 2 that really pop off for us. And then what I'll do is I'll put those 2 in and I'll say, please make these, create more curiosity in this headline or this email subject line so that we can increase the click-through rates or the reading rates. It gives us that ability really to just kind of refine it and continue to refine it. And the more that we give it information as we go along, the better those things get. And so I think that's one of those. And I would just say this too. One of the things that we've done as we started using this, Rajeev, is now we're tracking what are our click-through rates or what are our open rates for these emails. And now we're able to understand, like you said, which ones begin to create the curiosity we're looking for to get that click-through rate. And it's like the artificial intelligence is training us as much as we're training it in some of these cases. So does that make sense to you? And are y'all doing similar?
100%. That's, yeah. I mean, you got to rinse and repeat it and adjust your strategy, what's working, what's not, because just because it spit out 5 headlines and you pick 3, maybe 1 resonates and goes viral. Right. The other thing that we've done in episode 8, just look up custom instructions. We did a specific one about custom instructions. So if you're going down this path, a great way to do this is build a custom instruction for viral marketing expert and put all of the language in there. So you can, once you start it, it's ready to go and gives you all the headlines. So that's one. The other way, Jimmy, is, I mean, I love when we have data that tells a story, right? And, you know, I heard a quote that if you have data, let's talk about data. If you want to have an opinion, let's just go with Jimmy's, right? I mean, you know, right? So, so whenever there's data, there's a lot of data around us, and we want to build a story that makes people want to engage with us. So the other way we've done it is we have some access to some buyer data. How many buyers are in a certain area that are looking for a home? So we've flipped the same thing now the other way. And we've again, has Chat GPT. We have a certain number of buyers looking for a home like this. And so it came up with a subject line. There are 15 buyers. Let's assume we have 15 buyers in this case. The subject line is very personal, Jim. So if you live at 121 Main Street, my subject line to you, the homeowner in my sphere, is there are 15 buyers looking for a home like 121 Main Street. I guarantee you they're going to open that email because it's their home in the subject line. Then we go to the copy. And the copy, once you land on a subject line for equity or this or whatever topics you're talking about, now you post that subject line saying, this is the subject line I want to use. Now build the email copy in so many words. Now we're going down to the email copy. And the other one that has worked for us is the number 1 home improvement idea that adds value to your home. They're always going to open that because most people think they know what the number 1 home improvement idea is. And there's so many ways you can go with this with data. The last thing I'll say, and I'll have you comment. The other one is we talk a lot about NAR RPR for market stats. Easy way to get data. And I looked up Bluebell. List to sale ratio is 101%. There's a story there.
Right.
Right? So you can find data and then pop it in Chat GPT to come up with compelling subject lines that create engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I will say, you know, if you don't mind, I'm going to shift here a little bit because obviously the email is a great way. But if we're talking about generating leads literally from our sphere of influence specifically here, one of the things that we've seen is obviously the more that you show your appreciation, the law of reciprocity goes to work for you, and the more they want to send you referrals and do repeat business with you. So one of the things that we've done is really kind of focus in on that as a way to really get back to the fundamentals of saying thank you. And so how we've used Chat GPT in this case is that we are coming in with a prompt that basically says, I'm a real estate agent in whatever area. I would like for you to help me come up with 25 creative and unique ways to show my appreciation to my past clients in sphere of influence in a way that would encourage them to send referrals or do multiple transactions with us into the future. Now, this is something that literally we get these 25. And what we were doing is we just wanted 1 a quarter. You know what I mean? We wanted to make sure once a quarter We were reaching out to that sphere with some way, shape, or form, showing our gratitude, and gratitude is something that you can't come from a fake place. But if you truly value your customers and you utilize this to get the creative ideas on how to do this, now you've got something that is just gas on the fire, so to speak, that really helps you show them that appreciation in a way that just begins to compound your business like never before. Have y'all done anything as far as like from that standpoint or anything along those lines? And I got a couple examples I can give you in just a second too.
No, not formally. I'm going to do that now that you've shared this. That's what I love about this podcast. We get ideas from each other, from people that are guests on our pod. And what's interesting, Jimmy, is we've heard for a long time in our industry, stay in touch with your sphere. And I agree with that premise, but I think people need to stay memorable with your sphere. And I think if you can use AI to become more memorable faster, that's an increase in productivity. It's more leads from your organic leads from your sphere. So I love the idea of not just, thank you, but also asking for reviews, right? That's the other one. The language that you use to ask for reviews. I think that's where you were headed. It's a great way, not close the cycle, but to always have a forever client for life.
Yeah. So let me give you a couple things literally that it came up with for a couple of our different agents this past week. Some of them are pretty simple. Some of it is as simple as send a Starbucks gift card with a handwritten note. I mean, it's the foundational thing, some of it. And then we had one that came back and said, because we asked it then to adjust and really to create luxury type client appreciation parties. And what would be some themes for that? And one of them it came up with that we're really looking into now is to actually come in with a luxury brand. In this case, what we're doing is we're looking at a luxury car brand that we would partner with that car lot where we would have one of our luxury listings that we would host an event specifically just for past clients, luxury clients, and to show them appreciation. And basically they would bring their latest and greatest luxury cars, which gives them the ability to get in front of the audience they want to get in front of. So they're willing to pay some of the cost here. So it defers some of the costs. And then we were able to, once it gave us that idea, we were able to talk to one of our local private chefs that was like, I would love to be in front of that group heading into the season. So it gives us a capability really to put something together that I would have never thought about doing something along those lines with a luxury type brand that is going to be a top-notch event that is actually, the way we're looking at it, it's not really going to cost us that much because we're using event space of one of our luxury listings because it gets exposure to that group of luxury buyers potential or their friends to see this house. And then we're getting the offset of the food because the little bit of cost, which they said, look, they'll just pay for the food. We'll do this. Well, actually, the car company is willing to pay for the food. And so now it's just invitations. It's just, basically decorating and it's just follow-up. And so those are the type of things that the creativity that it gives you the ability to tap into is unlimited. So wrapping this up, one thing that I would say, Rajeev, is don't be afraid to ask it a lot of questions. You can't break it. And in reality, when we're talking about generating leads from our sphere of influence and also from those people that are past clients, there is no better place for you to generate leads than through that group. So utilize the technology that we have today to be able to not just provide opportunities for that group to send you referrals, but provide value to that group in a way that makes them want to absolutely keep you top of mind when and if that time comes for them to send a referral. Anything you want to add as we wrap up, Rajeev?
No, this has been the start of our AI lead gen part of our podcast because we're going to do a lot more of lead gen stuff, but I think it all starts with your sphere. Don't just stay in touch, be memorable with AI.
Everybody, if you got some value to this, make sure you go out and you give us a review as well as make sure that you subscribe to the podcast or that you follow the podcast. It gives you the ability to know once we drop these new episodes every week. So we hope this is of value to you. We're going to continue to be digging deep into artificial intelligence and Chat GPT to find the best ways that you can serve your clients at the highest level. Take care, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
This podcast has been produced by TSC Studios. Music is courtesy of Soundstripe. Audio and video editing is provided by Noah Escobar. Graphic design by Melinda McKnight. And special thanks to Jordan Wilson of Your Everyday AI for the inspiration and expertise.